Good morning, my friend. Episode number 4. Wow, we're getting there. Today it's all about lenses and how to view through your lens. We'll start with extreme wide angle, fish eyes. I don't use it a lot, but I'm going to use it a lot more, and I'm going to try some tests when I will be in Portugal and Spain to see if I can really use it to do something great. Because the point of view with, and I'll show you some picture at the end of the class, I have two fish eyes. This one is a Canon, 15mm, means it's very wide. You can see at 180 degrees. That's extremely wide. You can see that the shape, you cannot put a filter on this because of the shape. It's round. It's a very amazing lens, but everything is bended. But with Photoshop CC, they will adjust, and I'll show you. That's almost amazing. I had pictures that I took with that lens a long time ago, and I didn't touch them, and I just processed them with Photoshop, and wow, it does a very good job. Means for architecture, I'm thinking about using it more. Apparently, when you use this kind of lens, it's good for when you already have like circular things, because it bends already. If you have like a staircase that are circular, or if you have a dome, things like that, this can be perfect. I'm thinking about bringing it in Lisbon. They have one of the largest aquarium in Europe, and I'm going to try to bring this lens and see, because it's 2.8. 2.8. If I put my ISO at probably 1600, maybe I can do something very interesting inside of an aquarium with this. We'll try it anyway. Okay, now that you have, when you have a very large angle of view, now that affects your f. Even a f2.8, this is very shallow. On a wide angle like fish eyes, it's hard to get shallow depth of field because it's so large. Your angle of view is so big. Everything is almost all the time in crispiness. It's hard to really get that creaminess with a wide angle lens. It's good for landscape, and the one I'm filming with, it's a 16-35, and it's very good too. Like, it's a zoom, I like zoom, and 35, it's pretty good on the full frame, and 16, it's very wide, and it's a 2.8. With the 16mm 2.8, you can do quite a bit. If you put it to f4, everything is almost in focus. That's something to think about. But don't forget about the distortion. If you're using, okay, I'll show you my favorite lens. I love it. It's a 24-105 zoom. At 24 on the full frame, it's very good. Don't have any distortion. Like, you remember crop sensor, it's 27 diagonal. 24, it's very close to 27. It will give me a regular angle of view. But if I go to 100, now your angle of view is like a beam. Means now your focus point is smaller, and at f2.8 you will have a lot more creaminess. That's why I said, you know, you have to go and try your lens. This is the 50mm. This is on the full frame, that will be the normal angle of view. This one is the 1.4, very good, wide open for low light condition. It's probably 500 bucks. Compared to the 1.2, okay, I know the 1.2 50mm, it's a lot better lens, but it's like 2,500. You know, it depends what you want, but like for me, what I do with this, I get really good result for what I'm looking for. If I want better result, I can use another lens, but this is very good. For the cost, the value on this is very good. One lens that I just discovered, look at that. This is a lens. This is 40mm. I can attach it to full frame and to crop sensor. The lens is so small that, look at that. It's amazing. It's very good for, it's good for film when I do video because it doesn't move too fast, it tracks, but it doesn't do too much vibration and too much noise. But it's very light. The result is very good on this one. I can do macro, and it's a 2.8, and it's not expensive. It's like $200 or $300, something like that. And they have one that is wide angle that I'm going to look at, but doesn't attach to the full frame. It's just for the crop sensor. But that's Canon. And look at the brand and look at what they have and what. But like I can put that in my pocket, and if I use this one on the crop sensor, it's 40 times 1.6. I'll give you 64. Pretty good range for that one. After that, you go to your telephoto, and depend how much money you want to put for your lenses. I like to have, when I travel, from 24, we'll say, to 200. I really like my, okay, we'll show you those two big ones. This is the 70-200. I don't travel with this. This is too big. And you can see it has a collar, and that's to attach to your tripod. You don't put, when you put a lens that big on a tripod, you don't attach the tripod to the camera body, you attach it to the collar on your lens. This one, what I like with this one is the zoom is inside. You don't see the extension of the lens. And has the stabilization, two stabilization, one for the panning if you want to pan with it, and the other one is the regular one. I really like this one, but it's getting heavy, and using that for a day, it's tough. But it's a 2.8 all the way. As a zoom, it's very good, and this is one of the pro lenses that most of the portrait photographer will use. I have another one that I really like, but it's another heavy lens, and the things that I don't like is because it extends like that. I showed you that lens before, but it goes, it's a 100-400, and it goes from f4 to 5.6. Means like when I take a picture at 100, when it's close, it's f4. But as soon as I get farther, I get at the 400 at 5.6. Means decrease the amount of light that is coming inside. This one, that is more expensive, and it's just 70-200. It's all the way f2.8, all the way. That's a perfect lens, and that's why it's so expensive and it's so heavy. Check what you need and look at your budget. When I started with the 24-105 because I want, and I use that lens, I will say 90% of the time. It's a f4, but I crank the ISO with it. That's the one that I used when I did the ballet, and I really enjoy using this lens. I'm in range 24-105, it's pretty good. Another lens that I forgot to tell you about, that's macro lens. You remember last week when I was speaking about aperture, and if you want a depth of field, you can stack 3 pictures or 4. When you use macro, because you have to be close to the subject, remember when I said farther you are, everything, you have more sharpness inside of your image, your scene. But when you want to do macro, what you have to do, you have to be close to your subject. It means it's very hard to get everything in focus when you're using a macro lens. This is a 100. I can use it for a portrait lens too. It's very good. I love it. But remember that when you get close, if you want everything in focus, you might have to do stacking of different focus. I'll show you now a few gadgets that goes with your lens, because you know everybody likes gadget. When you want to even reach farther, Canon does an extender that is 2 times. I have the 2 times. Actually, I don't use the Canon one too often. I will use it on my 70-200 to get to 400 if I want to. I bought this one. This is a 1.4. That's not a 2, but it's a 1.4. It goes with most of my lens, and it's a Tele Plus Pro Kenko, and I like this thing a lot better. I don't know why. It works with all the lenses. This one doesn't. and it's a good buy. And it extends 1.4, means, you know, you have to think about what you want to bring. This one is a lot lighter than this one, and it's a lot cheaper than this one. But, you know, it depends on your needs. After that, if you want to do macro with your lens, you can have those tube, they call that. They have different size. This one is a 20 millimeter. And the way you're using this is you're taking your lens, make sure that your camera is off. You attach that to your lens, and now you have the possibility to do macro. It's not as a macro lens, but it will help you to do macro. You also have a filter for macro. Okay, let me show you the filter. The filter. I have two filters that I will show you. For if you want to do macro, you don't want to use the tube, you don't want to buy the lens, and that's not that easy to find. I had a hard time to find this one. Do I use it a lot? Yeah, no, not as much as I should. It's a close-up lens. It's a 500D from Canon. And the size is 77. And the 77, I'll show you. When you buy a filter for your lens, my expensive lens, my 100-400, my 70-200, this one, the 24-105, on those lenses for me are 77. This one is a 77, that's why I had a hard time to find it. But I can attach it to the front of my lens and use the lens for macro work. You can see I had another filter already on top of that lens. And that filter, this is the polarizer. Polarizers are good for reflection. If you have water and you want to have low reflection, or water on leaf, this is when you're using your polarizer. A lot of people are using it too for the blue sky, very dark blue sky. I'm not crazy about color. That's one of my problems. I have a problem to adjust with a lot of color. I like to decrease the color. I'm more a low saturation person. But this is the polarizer. A lot of people are using it. And I like it because when you have reflection, it's very practical. The other one that I really like, it's the ND filter. An ND filter, you put that in front of your lens and you can change it to get darker or lighter. It just stops the light to go in. Every filter will take some stuff out, except for like clear filter, but even the polarizer, you will probably lose 1 to 2 steps depending on the polarizer that you're using. This one, what I like about it is because I can go from 1 step to 10 steps. I can turn. Means, when do you use something like that? If you go in a place and you want to have creamy water, and you have to put your camera to 1 to 2 seconds, it means you cannot lower your ISO less than the minimum, like say it's 100. You cannot increase your shutter speed because it's 1 second that you need. Your aperture goes with your lens. Even if you put it at f22, sometimes it's just too much light coming in. And if you don't want to use f22, I put that in front of my lens. It just affects the amount of light that's coming in. It doesn't change the image or anything, just the amount of light. Okay, next week we'll speak about histogram, bracketing, and metering. Don't forget that you can have some distortion when you use wide angle for doing portrait. That can be fun with kids, but with adults, depending on their sense of humor, it might be different. But and that's if you're getting close. Don't forget that every lens is different, getting close to your subject or farther away from your subject. That's why you have to try it. Try it, put notes, and don't forget to subscribe. Ask your question if you have any question about lenses or other things. If I don't know it, I'll try to find it. Keep shooting, have fun, ciao! Okay, let me show you something very cool. I took that picture a long time ago and I never used it because you can see it was done with the fish eyes. It doesn't look natural at all, but you have a lot of detail. It's 180 degree, but I didn't like the curvature. Even if sometimes it looks good with the curve, but I didn't like it. I really wanted to have exactly what I was looking at. To solve the problem, now with Photoshop CC, very amazing. You have, okay, this is number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, number 6 here. This is for your lens correction. And they have a enable profile correction. When you click on this, look at that. I cannot believe it. It's something that I was waiting for since so long. Now I'm going to use the fisheyes a lot more. That's it for the fisheyes. I just wanted to show you because I think this is almost spectacular to be able to do that. Now I just have to correct my horizon in Photoshop, and this is a pretty good picture. Enjoy your day, and ciao ciao.